few minutes ago. It's Friday Night Lights. If you are in the sports world, you know what that means. That means the lights are on bright for a lot of young people who are out participating and playing sports. I'm doing the second live here, one just as a Q&A. If anybody wants to jump in and ask some questions, if you saw the first stream. The second thing is I'm also testing. So would love your feedback. I just did the live on Restream. I'm doing it versus in YouTube's native app right now, just to see kind of what the difference is on the two. But what we're talking about is the scoreboard and the myth of the scoreboard, because essentially it lies to us. So I'll give you the quick sports framework behind that. And essentially that comes down to the fact that the scoreboard is nothing but feedback. Now I get it. We're taught very early on that if you have more points, more goals, if you're ahead on the scoreboard, then you win. You're a winner. And if you're not, you're a loser. That is a myth. And if you dig into that, there really is no losing in the process. There's only learning, because the scoreboard is simply feedback. And this is very well researched when you talk about self-worth, identity, mindset, human performance. When you put your self-worth up on the scoreboard, it ultimately is going to cause a lot of stress, anxiety, depression, because so many human beings, adults, kids alike, look at the scoreboard as a reflection of them. And all it is feedback. And what happens is it becomes the story that you're telling yourself. I'm not good enough. I didn't play well. We suck. Those type of things. So we want to break up with those stories, which is not easy because most of us came into this life with them. They were further communicated to us, whether it be through family, through society, pop culture, whatever, sport. It's just not the case. And so what happens is this goes into life, and now we are adults, and we're looking at our money and what schools our kids go to, what dates I take my lady on. It's just produce, perform, provide, and achieving and accomplishing. That's the mentality that we have been taught. And man, it's not serving us. It's causing dudes to be in a position of stress and worry. Hey, what's up? Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, thanks for joining. It causes a lot of stress, worry, anxiety, depression, because we are so addicted to the scoreboard when it lies to us. And case in point, you got guys on here. What's up, Ken? That want to talk the talk, but ultimately, we're here to grow, learn, and evolve. And what the scoreboard does is it lies to us. So let's reframe it. If you are a sports fan, if you're going to see some football tonight, you're going to see some volleyball, whatever, maybe your kids or your community has going on tonight, everyone's going to rally around the scoreboard. Like, who won? And what I want to share with you is that at the end of the day, what the scoreboard says is not a reflection of actually the body of work. I can tell you as a former athlete how many games I played really well. We lost, and I'm upset. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. Completely ignoring the body of work that went on in that game. I let the outcome dictate where my vision goes. And so I want you to reframe your focus. Jessica, thank you for the support, for backing me up there. I appreciate it. I want you to reframe your focus from the outcomes, because we can't control them. You can't control how much money you make. You can't control your customers. You can't control your competitors. It's out of your control. So stop worrying about it. But yet that's the first place it goes. Case in point, it's the end of the week. It's Friday. Maybe you had a good week. Maybe you got paid. Maybe you are feeling good and you're like, yeah, awesome. It was a great week. But if it wasn't, maybe you didn't hit your quota. Maybe you didn't hit enough dials, didn't make the kind of money you wanted this week. And you're reflecting on, that was a bad week. That wasn't very good. I suck. What's wrong with me? I'm not good enough. I'm going to lose my job. boom, and you spiral in these stories that you're telling yourself that are completely made up. And so that's why I'm saying eyes off the scoreboard. And for those of you jumping in here, if you didn't get a chance, I went live on Restream earlier. A lot more of you are showing up here natively, which I love and appreciate. But I go a lot deeper into that one. So if you want to check that one out, I would love for you to do it. And it's definitely helpful and supportive in the process. So sports and life, a tremendous amount of crossover. In life, and case in point, let's say it's summer backyard barbecue. You got a neighbor over and your neighbor leans over and is like, hey, the Joneses down the street, they're really successful. What are they referring to? The money, the car in the driveway, the wristwear, the sweet IG pics of their vacation to Europe. That makes them successful. And as men, we've been taught, conditioned that success looks like money, business success, career success. People don't often say, oh man, he is an amazingly, incredibly loving partner. He's incredibly successful. Or he's an amazing father. He's really successful. He may be all those things, but people don't see him as a success unless he scores on the scoreboard of money. Now, here's the thing. We can't control the scoreboard. So now we're putting our focus, our attention, our self-worth, our identity on something we can't control. Why the heck are we doing that? Well, we've been taught that very early on. Those of you coming late to the conversation, we're talking about the myth, the lies that most adults and unfortunately our kids are believing in, that the scoreboard is essentially what's most important, and it's not. So if we could take our attention off the scoreboard and focus on the body of work, because all the scoreboard is feedback on how we're doing. If we're winning or we won, that gave us a certain amount of feedback. If we're not on the winning side of the game, and that gives us feedback on where we need to get better. So the focus and our attention is on the process. You hear this a lot, process over outcomes. It's really, we can control our effort. In fact, there's only three things we can't control: effort, attitude, and response. So we want to focus on the things we can control. And that's the thing. I made the example earlier on about how many years as an athlete, I would play well, but we'd lose, and I wouldn't be happy. I'd be upset. I'd be frustrated. When in fact, there was things that I and my team did in the game that if we looked on those small wins and we learned from those, we learned from the mistakes, those challenges, and built on those, it would put us in a better position to be successful. Same thing in your life. Men, if you are not tracking your daily wins, you're missing an opportunity to actually improve your chance of getting the outcomes that you want. Now, ultimately, we as human beings focus on the 3D world. We focus on the scoreboard. So how much money we're making, our quotas, sales, what colleges our kids go to, or private schools, how many times I'm having sex per week. It's all scoreboard related. And then, or vacations I went on, and then the quality of vacations I went on, how much money I spent. And ultimately, what that does is that has us living in a world where we can't even enjoy it. It's all about achieving and accomplishing. I mean, there are endless. I mean, I can't. All you could just look it up. Endless examples of individuals. I'm talking men here who have just killed it on the scoreboard, killing it. Have broken relationships. Their health is out of whack. They're estranged from their children, and people call them a success. There's a lot more in life, and a lot of men that I work with and I come across, they want more out of life. They don't want just the money, because they got the money, but they lack the purpose, the meaning, the mission. And then what? It's just digits in a bank account. And ultimately, it's not the money you want anyway. It's what the money can provide to you. Money is just a conduit, right? To get you from what you want to having what you want. So it's a conduit. You don't want the money. So we got to detach our eyes from the scoreboard, look at the wins, and learn how to stack those small wins throughout your day, throughout your week, throughout your month. So in stacking, that's the real win. That's the real score that we want to be focusing on, is our effort, our attitude, how we respond to situations. So I'll tie it up with here. As I mentioned, for those of you just jumping on a little bit late, I did a whole restream on this just a little bit ago. I'll go a lot more in depth on it. I was just kind of testing it out live. A lot of you are coming to the native YouTube live far more than are coming to the restreams that I'm doing, streaming live on multiple channels. So I love you all. Thank you for making the time to come here and connect with this. If your athlete is out there playing today, I wish them all the best of luck. Gang, subscribe to the channel here. So I'm going to be going live, probably more native now, because it's just where you all seem to show up to be able to support you. If you got questions, by all means, hit me up. I'm at Cletus Coffey. Send me a DM. And then if you want to get into our ecosystem, if you go to cletuscoffey.com/morning, that'll get you access to our Mastery Morning worksheet. And before you can take care of the kids, before you can take care of your money and your business and your partner in life or finding a new partner, you got to take care of you. So we focus on that, the morning, emphasizing taking care of us, making sure we're right, and then we can lead those in our life from a place of power, not from a place of reactionary, low energy, not feeling good about ourselves. Step one, take your eyes off the scoreboard. Guys, go ahead and subscribe to the channel here. Would be very grateful if you did. Provide more quality content for you all here. Good luck to everyone. Friday Night Lights, eyes off the scoreboard. Focus on what you can control. Catch y'all later.